Thank you all very much for coming today. Obviously, we've got a lot of activity going on in the city, and we're operating fairly well, but we've got a lot of really extreme weather coming our way. So the purpose of this briefing here at 3:30 is to give an update on what we've done as a city, what we're going to be doing. I'll be running through a bunch of different departmental activity at the same time, have opportunity for questions, and set the stage for the next couple days. To start us off, we're going to have Diane Bigby. She's going to give us a little weather update so we can have an idea of what we're going to be facing the next couple of days. It's going to be extremely cold temperatures. That's quickly going to become the biggest challenge we face, and certainly a major safety issue as well. So she's going to speak first. Then Donna Hargens is going to talk about JCPS's plans, and then I'll come back and talk about more detailed information for the rest of the city. Diane?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We had an opportunity this afternoon to have a conference call with the National Weather Service briefing. So what we got information from them was that this evening, overnight, late tonight, we can expect another 1 to 2 inches of snow across our area, widespread in the area. It looks as though it'll be coming in over the overnight hours into the morning hours, with potentially for a little bit of more snow squall later on Wednesday afternoon as well. So they're talking 1 to 2 overnight with maybe another inch for the afternoon hours through Wednesday, so up to a total of 3 inches. Following that is going to be where the extreme low temperatures come into play, and that's where it starts to get dangerously cold. So Wednesday, what we're looking at is temperatures mainly in the teens, and then in the afternoon is when the temperatures are going to start to fall once that snow squall comes through our particular area. So we're going to be looking at wind chills there from 0 to -10 in the afternoon on Wednesday afternoon. And then Thursday morning, we have extreme lows from -8 to -15 degrees are predicted, along with some winds in the afternoon, anywhere from 10 to 20 mile an hour with gusts up to 30 mile an hour. So with that, we're going to have wind chills from -20 to -26 degrees are predicted at this point in time. So that's when it's extremely cold and extremely dangerous to be out. Friday morning, the cold is going to continue with morning lows from 0 to -15, with wind chills from -5 to -25 degrees. So once the snow has ended for tonight going into tomorrow, which has put us officially under a winter storm advisory for overnight, which actually comes into effect from 10 p.m. to 7 p.m. Expect to see some more snow, 1 to 2 inches, maybe up to 3 inches in the area, followed by extreme cold temperatures and wind. So with that, we'll hand it over to Dr. Hargens.
Okay, we're pleased that Superintendent Donna Hargens is joining us, and she will update us on JCPS. Donna?
Thanks, Mayor. This is always difficult because schools are a great place for our kids, and you know I love learning. However, we send people out, and 12 of our 13 bus compounds report that we can't safely pick up our students. So we transport 70,000 amazing students every day, and their safety is our top priority. Therefore, unfortunately, JCPS will be closed tomorrow, Wednesday, February 18th. Again, JCPS will be closed tomorrow, Wednesday, February 18th. Now, I said something to students yesterday, and I said read something, because we know that reading is the most important 21st century skill. We also encourage students to go online or to use the centers to go online, and there actually is a site called wonderopolis.org, and I encourage you to go to that site and go to 477, which is the challenge of the day. And the challenge is how many blocks make an igloo. And there's reading and an assignment on there. So I want you to do an assignment, because learning, even if you're not in school, is incredibly important. Mayor?
Thank you, Superintendent Hargens. There will be a lot of curious activity taking place over the next couple of days that people want to research and learn about, so we encourage that. The parochial schools have also asked that we announce that they will also be closed tomorrow. So JCPS and the parochial schools here in Louisville will be closed tomorrow. So now all you kids, I'm sure you're disappointed to hear that. Now here's a rundown just on a couple different agencies and what's going on, then I'll get into some more prepared remarks. The Red Cross will open shelters as needed, depending on the weather. Our emergency management department right here, obviously our EOC, Emergency Operations Center, is open for situational awareness. Louisville Metro Police Department, we had to tow some abandoned cars off of the expressway so we could plow those roads. They have been towed to the tow lot. They will not be charged for being towed as part of our Compassionate City program here, but you have to pick up your cars there. The events in the city will be going on tonight. The Fleetwood Mac concert's going on. GLI is having a large event going on, and the police have their normal event management protocol in place for that. EMS, the ambulances are parking inside of fire stations all over the city so they can be good and ready to go. We've had one case of hypothermia reported. That's the only personal injury that we've seen so far. That person is expected to be okay. As it relates to fire, both Louisville Fire and Suburban Fire here, the main thing we want people to remember is stay warm smartly. Don't do things that defy common sense. You know, don't have your grill going inside of your house. Things like that. Just be very, very careful. When you're removing snow, don't put it on our fire hydrants, please. If you want information as it relates to fire, you can go to LOUKYFIRE, Lou K Fire, at facebook.com, or search Louisville Division of Fire. Metro United Way is beefing up its overnight call response system for any calls that come in. Questions can go into 211 for Metro United Way, so if people have any questions about anything, they can call 211 or 311, and we'll be able to get your answers back to you. Our community services and revitalization is making sure that all emergency heat payments are being processed in a timely manner. LG&E is here as well, and Water have both stated there will be no utility cutoffs during this cold weather that we're going through right now. Any seniors that are getting Meals on Wheels, or any other service have staple meals already, so they should be in good shape. And we're also checking on seniors that just make sure everything is okay in their houses that are in the CSR programs. Our emergency shelters, homeless shelters, we're making sure that excess capacity or additional capacity is available at nearby churches. Metro Animal Services, let's make sure our pets are taken care of. They're partnering with the Kentucky Humane Society for free boarding. So think about your pets and make sure that they're not outside freezing just like people do at the same time. Putting down salt, try to put down pet-friendly salt so that your pets' stomachs don't have a problem. LG&E, we've really no unusual activity report. We were very fortunate that the snow was not a wet snow and didn't hang up on the wires. With the cold weather coming in, we don't expect really extreme wind greater than 30 miles an hour, so hopefully we'll be lucky with that in terms of line outages. Louisville Water Company, it's kind of business as usual in terms of water main breaks. Keep water flowing, your cold water in your house just about the size of your pinky so your lines don't freeze up. That always becomes a problem when that doesn't happen with this type of weather, so be careful and watch that. MSD, no unusual activity. Public Works. As I've been out and around the city today, I notice a lot of our sidewalks are in bad shape and people are out walking on the roads. So try to avoid that. In particular, clear your sidewalks. That's the responsibility of the property owner, so the kids, when school gets back in session, have a safe place to walk. Also, for private contractors out there removing snow, it is illegal for you to push the snow onto the public right-of-way. So please do not do that. Push the snow to the side. Garbage pickup and recycling is on its regular schedule, so please keep putting your bags out. This is for the city I'm talking about. There will be no bulk pickup. Okay, and then in terms of parks and community centers, when JCPS closes, our community centers are open for kids from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. So please take advantage of the community centers, regardless of what your age is. All 6 of our sledding hills are open, so dress warmly and go out and have a good time. But stay off the ponds. Okay, even though it's cold, there's still not enough ice to go on the ponds, so it's just a good idea to stay off them all together. Our libraries are all open. Our YMCAs are open. So if you can get out and about, go out and exercise a little bit and have a good time. what we're going to go through here is that once you can get out of your neighborhoods, the main roads in the city are in really pretty good shape right now. So let me transition into that. Is there anything I didn't cover from anybody else here that you want to make sure is known? Okay. All right, let's talk about this storm. Obviously, we had a lot of snow coming down in a relatively short period of time. The snowstorm started about 40 hours ago. It ended about 20 hours ago. We have made major progress without any type of significant problems, no major fires, just that one case of hypothermia that I mentioned before. So we've been able to get ourselves through this pretty well. I want to thank the media here. You guys have been great partners in terms of getting the word out about the conditions on the roads and with the schools, et cetera. So thanks for being a big part of our public safety here in the community. What made this challenging, obviously, was the snow came very quickly and in record amounts yesterday. So it made it a real challenge for our team here with Louisville Metro. I think you've been seeing our crews have been working nonstop and will continue to be working nonstop for as long as what we need to be. I've spent, as I said, quite a bit of time driving around the city today, just inspecting the roads and sidewalks and talking with various crews. Things, for the most part, look pretty good. Now, it may not feel that way if you're back in a remote neighborhood or street. That is going to be a challenge. But once you get on the primary streets, arterials, and the secondary streets, you can move around pretty easily. Our snow removal team is continuing their efforts, and right now over 90% of our roads on snow routes are asphalt exposed. So we're making good progress there. We've been through 5 passes already. I wanted to walk everybody through a timeline to give you an idea here in the city how that work has taken place in the last 40 hours, recapping our road treatment efforts. What you can see is at 10 o'clock on Sunday night, the overnight crews reported and loaded the trucks. At midnight, we did the first salt and calcium chloride treatment of the roads. Then at 5 o'clock on Monday, the second salt and calcium chloride runs began. 7 o'clock, the day crews reported and continued the second treatment, and then began the first plow when the snow started falling. All routes were treated twice on Monday and received 1 plowing overpass by 7 o'clock, and then the overnight crews reported at 7 p.m. This morning at 7 a.m., we completed an additional combination of treatment and plowing, and then the day crews reported at 7, and then we've completed the 4th pass, and as I said, we're into our 5th pass as well. Okay, so by the end of the day yesterday, all snow routes were treated at least twice. We covered over 8,100 lane miles, and at this time, when you go by somebody that's on a snowplow, give them a thumbs up, okay? It was a great job. We've got 265 people on our snow team and over 100 different pieces of equipment out there as well. So they'll continue to get after it 24/7. Now let's take a look at part of the challenge. As you all know, this is one of the largest and quickest falling snowfalls in our city's history. Our last major snowfall of this type for a single-day storm was in February of 1998, according to the National Weather Service. So it's been about 16 years. And in 1998, we got between 5 and 10 inches in one event. This storm was comparable, up to 9 inches in some areas of Louisville. And it wasn't just the amount of snow that presented challenges, it was the rate at which it fell. So we can see that here on this slide. So a lot of snow was falling very quickly, and this led to a lot of folks taking a look at the roads and saying, nobody's plowing the roads, what's wrong with you guys? And obviously, when snow is falling as fast as what it was, the roads get covered up very quickly. So to provide some perspective on this, we're taking a little bit of a risk just by focusing on one TV personality, but Doug Proffitt from WHAS, I think, explained this quickly falling snow very correctly and how difficult it was then to keep the roads cleared. So let's roll that clip.
Many people today claiming that they never saw a snowplow. I did see a snowplow earlier today around LaGrange Road. I pulled off to the side because I was curious, and I timed it. It was about 8 minutes before the roadway was totally covered in snow again. You couldn't even see the pavement. So that's how fast the snow was really covering their work.
Well, good job to Doug Proffitt, and I'd really like to call out Joe Arnold, too, for that beautiful hat he was wearing. Joe, very nice. I noticed you've retired the hat since then. This might become the top story of the presidential storm of 2014. And I'm not going to put that on. Okay, now once the snow stopped, this could scare people, Joe. Once the snow stopped, then the conditions started to improve, and I think these pictures really capture this. So on the left is a shot of Jefferson Street and 5th, right outside of my office there at 10 o'clock this morning. And on the right, this is the same area at 10 o'clock, okay? So a drastic improvement. And now the bottom picture in the middle is what you see when the salt and calcium chloride mix are working. So it breaks down the snow and ice into a slush that's easier and safer to drive through. So this led to some complaints this morning of people saying, hey, you're not doing anything downtown on the streets. I think one of the takeaways from us, as my Chief of Staff, Ellen Hessen, frequently reminds us at Louisville Metro in our office, this is a system, and we have to treat this as a system. So this is part of the snow removal system here of breaking down the snow into slush to where plows then come along and remove it, and then you see what you have here on the picture on the right. Okay, so we'll try to do a better job explaining that science in our snow system per Chief Ellen Hessen. Okay, so right now crews are on their 5th pass. They're treating and plowing where needed, and we'll continue to monitor the roads to determine if another round of salt and calcium chloride treatment is needed this evening. Now, I know a lot of folks are concerned about neighborhood roads. Our first focus is on our snow routes, and then working with JCPS to identify roads that are critical for their bus routes. So we got to kind of do a dance there depending on when JCPS is going back into school, but we're in constant communication with them on all kind of safety issues, including road conditions. I know people are frustrated, especially if you're back in a neighborhood, but covering every road is not feasible. There's no city in the country that does that. So we pay primary attention to the roads that get the most amount of traffic. So please work with your neighbors to make sure your driveways are cleared. If you're elderly, call on some of your friends that you know to help you as well, and just work together to get through this situation as best that we can. We're asking everybody to keep all emergency snow routes free of parked cars for one more night. This really helps our crews get the excess snow off the road. And where you're seeing some of our biggest troubles right now is where these cars are still out on the roads. Now, to get the latest information on road conditions, you can visit our website, which is louisvilleky.gov, and you'll see right at the top of the homepage there's a spot for you to click through so where you can get what the latest conditions are. This map right here shows the primary routes and their condition. Purple means clear and good, so we're in some pretty good shape there on that. Finally, let's just review some safety tips. There's a lot of snow out there, so don't overexert yourself. Just take your time to get it out of the way, and if at all possible, do it today before it gets real close. As I said, don't cover fire hydrants with snow. Tonight and tomorrow and the next day are going to be brutally, brutally cold. It's going to be like the polar vortex of last winter and potentially even colder than that. For your house, make sure you know where your shutoff valve is for your water, so that if you have to turn that off because of burst pipes, you know where that is. And then also remember to run a small stream of cold water so your pipes don't freeze in the first place. And then please, please, please remember to check on elderly neighbors and relatives and watch your pets at the same time. For our homeless shelters, our white flags are up at all the shelters, obviously. Good Samaritans are out and about trying to talk everybody to come inside of a shelter. We can always use more hats and gloves and blankets or cash. So if you want to help out some of our homeless shelters, call the Coalition for the Homeless. It's 636-9550, 636-9550 for the Coalition for the Homeless. Okay? Tomorrow we'll be doing another briefing, more than likely focusing on the extreme cold weather that's coming up and reminding some folks how to get ahead of those type of problems that will be coming our ways. Remember, government buildings, our community centers, libraries are all open, and make sure that you're staying warm. Okay, Sal Melendez from the Louisville Fire Department is going to now give a recap of the high points of today's message in Spanish. So, Sal, bienvenidos.
You want to do it for him?
No.
You good? Thank you. Gracias. As you said, as a recap, vamos a repetir un poco la información de lo que primero se habló, iniciando con la superintendente del sistema escolar del departamento de Jefferson. El primer anuncio es de que las escuelas van a estar cerradas el día de mañana, eso es lo que se ha determinado en este momento, debido a la inseguridad de las carreteras y bueno, ella determina de que, o ellos han determinado de que la seguridad de los estudiantes y de las personas que trabajan en el sistema escolar es lo primordial. Pero no quiere dar este mensaje sin antes decirles de que, a pesar de que no van a estar presentes en la escuela, de que por favor hagan uso de Internet, que primero que nada lean algo, es el mensaje que ella dice, pero también que hagan uso de Internet y visiten el sitio que se llama www.wanderopolis.org y escojan el asignamiento número 477 y ahí van a poder aprender a cómo se hace, cuántos bloques son necesarios para formar un iglo. Esa es la asignación que se les ha dado de parte de la escuela. Ahora, volviendo al mensaje que dio el alcalde, Greg Fisher, dice de que, primero que nada, tenemos la suerte de que a pesar de la caída de nieve que se ha dado, no se han dado incidentes de gravedad, solamente ha habido un caso de hipotermia y esa persona se determina de que va a estar en buen estado, de que la vida de esa persona no está en peligro. Si necesita algún tipo de asistencia pública que no sea emergencia, puede hacer uso del número 311 y también el número 211. Obviamente, si tiene alguna emergencia, por favor llame el 911 y allí será ya sea que necesite asistencia de la policía, del departamento de bomberos o el servicio de emergencias públicas, de emergencias médicas, para poder recibir asistencias. También los albergues de la Cruz Roja Americana están abiertos y están funcionando, al igual que otros albergues alrededor de la ciudad. También se le recomienda de parte del Departamento de Protección de Animales de que sean sensibles a las necesidades de sus mascotas. Si tienen mascotas que están afuera, que por lo general se mantienen afuera, que no los mantengan en este clima, no los dejen a la intemperie y que los traigan adentro en un lugar más adecuado para que no puedan sufrir ningún contratiempo o ninguna enfermedad. Y si están usando la sal que están usando, por favor que sea adecuada de acuerdo a las mascotas, que no le vaya a dar un dolorcito de estómago por ahí. También el departamento de acuático, del agua, de acueductos y alcantarillados, la recomendación principal que ellos dan es de que por favor deje un chorro de agua abierto del tamaño del dedo piñique para que las tuberías en su hogar no sean refrigeradas. Así de que tengan eso en mente. Todo eso va a hacer de que ustedes podamos sobrevivir la tormenta de nieve que se ha dado. También los lugares de servicio como el YMCA, las bibliotecas y otros lugares de servicio público también están abiertos y están en servicio. Una de las cosas que el alcalde pide el alcalde Greg Fisher pide es de que todos, por favor, hagamos el esfuerzo de chequear con los vecinos, especialmente esos ya de la tercera edad, de la edad avanzada, para asegurarse de que esa gente también esté en buen estado y no tenga ningún contratiempo debido a la tormenta. Ahora, en lo que se refiere a la tormenta cayó hace 40 horas. Y cesó hace 20 horas. El motivo por el cual esta tormenta tiene el significado con el cual nos encontramos es debido a que cayó bastante nieve las 9 pulgadas de nieve que cayeron en un tiempo bien pequeño, en un tiempo demasiado rápido, a modo de que le puso una sobrecarga a los servicios públicos de esta ciudad. Y debido a eso, pues el Departamento de Obras Públicas ha estado trabajando desde antes de que todas estas agencias hemos estado trabajando de antemano, asegurándonos de que estemos listos para poder atender a sus necesidades. Así que tengan presente de que si quizá en su vecindad no ha pasado una grúa por ahí recogiendo la nieve o apartando la nieve, es debido a que las calles principales son la prioridad. Las calles en las vecindades, pues esas ya pasan a ser de segunda necesidad, así de que no se frustren, traten de por favor entender de que lo principal es las calles principales, y esa es una de las razones por las cuales las escuelas no están abiertas el día de hoy. Bueno, el frío va a aumentar. Esta es una tormenta de que desde febrero de 1998 no se da una tormenta de este tipo. Y de nuevo el problema ha sido que cayó tanta nieve en tan poco tiempo. Ahora, las temperaturas van a bajar de una manera drástica, y ahí es donde nosotros como Departamento de Bomberos y como Departamento de Obras Públicas, de Agencias de Servicio Público, les pedimos que hagan uso del sentido común y asegurarse de que no se metan en una situación que va a poner a su familia en ningún tipo de peligro. Si hacen uso de generadores, recuerden de que estos sistemas eléctricos son para uso externo, no son para ser usados dentro de la casa. Si tienen una parrilla para cocinar, eso es simplemente para cocinar, que eso se mantenga afuera. Volviendo a los generadores, de nuevo, estos son mantenidos, deben ser usados a 10 pies de distancia por lo menos de su casa. Nunca deben ser usados en un garaje, ni que tengan ninguna puerta abierta, a modo de que los humos que estos sistemas emiten entren a su casa, causándole problemas de respiración, y por ahí pues se podría decir hasta la muerte. Así de que hagan uso de sentido común. Yo sé de que con el frío van a también usar calefactores portátiles. En este caso nosotros les pedimos de que entiendan de que estos sistemas también son para uso temporal, de que si las están usando, de que por favor los desconecten o los apaguen antes de irse a dormir o antes de dejar el hogar. También se les pide de que si no es necesario que salgan a conducir, pues no salgan, que se mantengan en casa. Y también se les pide, ya para cerrar, de que si están paliando la nieve de sus calles o de sus hogares, cerca de donde sea, asegurarse de que los hidrantes o las bombas de aguas no estén cubiertas, de que la nieve no le esté cayendo a los hidrantes. Y si ve algún hidrante en su vecindad que esté cubierto de nieve, por favor haga el acto de buen vecino y descubra el hidrante para que nosotros podamos darle la asistencia que usted necesita. Se les pide de que por favor hagan uso de sentido común, y si tienen alguna emergencia, solamente de emergencia, llamen el 911. Si no tienen ninguna emergencia, los números a llamar son el 211 y también el 311. Si quieren más información, pueden visitar el sitio de internet que se llama www.louisvilleky.gov, y ahí hay bastante información sobre todo lo que hemos estado hablando el día de hoy. Gracias.
Gracias, Sal. Es bueno que hablamos de español ahora. Okay, we're now happy to take any questions. This could have been the most comprehensive press conference we ever had. Greg.
With the snow in the forecast tonight, and looking at roadways tomorrow, are they expecting this to be a snowfall that might be easier for crews to keep up with than what we saw yesterday?
Well, we certainly hope so, because we got 8 to 10 inches yesterday, so there's a possibility of 1 to 2 inches tonight, and most of the roads are clear. So hopefully it's not going to snow at all, but if it does, it should be quite a bit easier.
Are the snow crews going to be at full staffing through the morning?
Yes, we will be full staffed until we get the roads as clear as we can all over the city. So I anticipate we'll be full staff for quite some time.
We luckily have a night shift. Our normal Metro Roads Division has a shift tonight since November.
Okay, well, it looks like all y'all's questions have been answered. Again, thanks to our media partners here. Obviously, we've got to get this word out to our community, and you all have done a very nice job with that. We appreciate it. Thank you. Everybody stay safe.
This has been a Metro TV production, a public service of Louisville Metro government.